RAYE, Black Mascara. It's a brilliant song. I loved it the first time I heard it, and especially the backstory. For me, that scores quite high on the surprise and emotion scales, but particularly the emotion scales. The song is just soaringly beautiful. It's the kind of song that when you put headphones on and listen to it properly, it becomes this beautifully, gorgeously immersive and even more emotional experience. Musically, there's lots of variety. There are lots of unexpected things. It's not a classic kind of club beat. It's just beautifully emotionally immersive in a way that connects with the intended emotion of the song. And now if you know the backstory to this one, RAYE said she wrote this. For her, it was almost like therapy because this was talking about abuse and sexual abuse specifically. Very raw subject. If you listen to the lyrics, they're so generic that it can resonate for people emotionally, for anybody who has felt controlled in a relationship, who's ever felt like they've been repressed or mistreated, even if it's not as far as really horrific things, but even just feeling as though you're kind of repressed and hurt by a man in a relationship. So emotionally very, very raw, particularly if you know the backstory, but even if you don't, it's a song that's all about just yearning and feeling just heartbroken. Good one for that. And the music, I would score that quite high for surprise because of the variety. Musically, it hasn't just been thrown together in a nice kind of, right, we'll pick a beat from there, we'll pick this from there, we'll stick it all together and just ram out the lyrics and just sing it. No, it's almost as though she has kind of crafted it. The production team, whether it was she who produced the music or somebody else, it's been beautifully put together. The video has a really lovely kind of feel to it. There's not a lot of surprise in it. Initially, there's variety for the first minute, and then beyond that, there's not a lot of variety. So the video could have added more variety just to keep the viewer engaged a lot more. And that's a common problem with music videos. It's a missed opportunity to keep surprising the viewer with new material, with something new every 30 seconds. The emotion, I think, connected very sensitively and very carefully with the emotion of the song. I think if you were to in a music video, portray literally the very raw subject matter that she's singing about, of abuse, and that could really backfire, because you could end up with a video there that is potentially painfully triggering in a way that you don't want it to be. So I actually think emotionally on this occasion, I like to see videos that emotionally tie and match with songs. On this occasion, it doesn't quite tie it, but it's really ambiguous, and I think it's really appropriate on this occasion.
See, now that I know the backstory, I can understand why there are moments in the video where one of the dancers just kind of seems to be strangling her as she sings. Right. You know, so you can kind of connect that to the idea of abuse.
When a music video does well for surprise, it's when you have hidden elements, Easter eggs, when you've got things that you don't see until you watch it again. Particularly clever things, like you said, with the hands around the neck. Now that you know the backstory, you can see there's a subliminal, symbolic connection there. There are probably lots more, and I think anybody who watches it over and over and over will start to pick up on things. And what would be really clever if it turns out there are things in there that only certain people who've gone through certain experiences would pick up on. It depends how clever they've been with it. But again, it's such a raw subject matter that you don't want to make the viewer feel uncomfortable. If you've got somebody who's struggling with just heartbroken emotions, there's a fine balance, because we tend to want to, when we want to really let it all out, sometimes we go looking for something that will reinforce those emotions to really get us over the edge. And sometimes we want to feel as though somebody understands us and have a sense of empathy from a performer, that, you know, oh, they get me. But at the same time, if it's too literal and too raw, it can end up reminding you too much of things that you don't want, that you try not to think about. So an incredibly delicate balance, but I think she's done it well. It's a powerful, beautiful song.